Hi, I'm Nicole Hedlund, your City Council President for Yachats. Today I'm going to go over what we covered at our City Council meeting on July 15th. Before our original City Council meeting, we did a work session with the Finance Committee, and the topic was Urban Renewal Development. So we've had our current Urban Renewal Development Plan in place for almost 20 years, and it's set to expire next year. And what the URD, Urban Renewal Development, is a ability to reallocate property taxes to come to the city versus going to county services. So we've been getting roughly about $600,000 a year to go to things like infrastructure, our wastewater, our water, our street and storm drains, and it's also going to pay for our south water tank loan. So this does expire next year, and that is going to put a big deficit in our budget for infrastructure and CIP projects. So the plan is the mayor, the city manager, and I are going to start negotiating with the county and with the state to see if we can extend this urban renewal development. Your property tax rate stays the same if you're in the urban renewal district. It's just a reallocation of funds. So then going into our regular city council meeting, we've had a really exciting update from the library. It looks like we are moving forward to be part of the county library system. So that means we will be able to request books from other libraries in the county, and they can be delivered here in Yachats for us to check out. And one of the best things is we still get to run the library with our wonderful volunteers. So that should be starting the process, and we're hoping sometime later this year, early next year, we will be part of the system. Another thing that was very exciting that finally happened is we have our wetlands inventory complete. So this has been a project that's been going on for, I think, 12 years, and it was designed to map out all of the wetlands within Yachats city limits. And really the importance of having this is having an extra tool for the city planner to understand how the waterways and the wetlands work in town, and so we can be better stewards of the land. Our next steps is we are going to do a protection plan, working with the state on how we are going to manage the wetlands, and so that is coming up very soon. So we also had an update from the Emergency Preparedness Committee. Things are moving forward with new convex trailers going up in the hills with emergency supplies, and they're continuing to work with local agencies so we can be better prepared for the future emergencies. We also had an update from the chamber about 4th of July. That was a very exciting day, in my opinion. We had our La-Di-Da parade, followed by so many afternoon activities. We had bouncy houses, we had the fire department back selling hot dogs and hamburgers. We had a beer garden that was sponsored by Pelican Brewery. We had sidewalk chalk artists and professional kite flyers. It was a really fun afternoon. A lot of families stayed in town after the La-Di-Da, and it was great to see them all. We also that evening had a shorter fireworks display. So we did a survey earlier this year to see what people wanted to do for the fireworks, because sometimes the sound and the pollution can be really harmful for the environment and for the wildlife and anyone else who does not like fireworks. So this year we did have 4 deputies in town, 2 on feet, and it seems like the personal fireworks were less than last year, but that could be debatable. But definitely our city-sponsored fireworks show was only around 21 minutes, and they used the quietest fireworks possible. So we would welcome any comments or feedbacks of what everyone thought about the 4th of July activities. Also at the meeting, we had an update about what the Planning Commission is doing for the housing ordinance. And what I wanted to say about that is just to do a timeline of what our housing ordinance update looks like. So currently the Planning Commission is going line by the proposed ordinance, and they are fine-tuning it to better reflect the needs and wants of Yachats. Once the Planning Commission comes up with a draft that they feel comfortable with, it goes to the DLCD at the state for review. And that takes roughly 35 days to do a review. Once that review has been finished, the Planning Commission has their first public hearing. The state requires that we have at least one public hearing through the Planning Commission, but we can have as many as needed. During this whole time, getting public information and public input and public opinions, we can fine-tune this ordinance to make it the right one for the city. Once the Planning Commission has a draft that they feel really comfortable with, it is then presented to City Council. At that point, the City Council has a minimum of 2 public hearings, and all of these public hearings are required to have a 20-day notice, mail notice to all the people in town who owns property. So once the City Council has their public hearings and we keep fine-tuning it, we come up with a final draft that everyone's feeling comfortable with. At that point, the City Council can choose to just vote to approve it or to have it go into a ballot. So it's the many public hearings, a lot of community input to get to the final draft. And once the final draft is done, then we talk about how to vote on it. And also, this could be a process that it finishes off this year with this City Council, but it could be it will be a whole new City Council starting in January. So it might overlap both of those, that change. Which reminds me, there is an election coming up in November. We have 1 mayoral position and 2 City Council positions. So if anyone is interested in running, they can swing by City Hall and get the forms that need to be filled out. So you fill out one form first, I believe it's SEL 101, and that's your intent to run to be on the ballot. And then you will, after that has been submitted, you gather at least 20 signatures. And both of those things should be done by August 13th. So if anyone is interested in running for the City Council positions or the mayor positions, please swing by City Hall and ask the questions that you need and get the forms that you need. So thank you for listening to my recap, and I hope everyone has a great day.